what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day today or a good evening, wherever you're at. All right. One of the things I'm going to talk about today is security, right? That's the main concern. So I had a curiosity. It's like this is 2026. I mean, we've come a long way with technology. How is it? I mean, that we're still getting hacked. People are stealing our information. I can see for end users that will be an issue if they don't know what they're doing. They just want their laptop to go online or do documents or just send emails or just go on social media, what have you. And an end user may not be very aware of what's going on. But when it comes to IT professionals, I don't say cybersecurity professionals because I don't believe in the word cybersecurity. That's my opinion. I don't believe in that. I believe in deterrence, that you deter as much as possible somebody trying to get into your network. Now, in today's world, now we don't want to use AI, and it's all over TikTok, it's all over everywhere. You don't want to just use AI to ask questions. But I probe and I go down the rabbit hole and I ask a bunch of different detailed questions. So that's one of the things I want to talk about. But before we do that, I want to give you I'm going to show you what I've shown you in the past, which is the IC3 report, and they only have the 2024. But I do have something from Perplexity for between comparison in ransomware specifically, because one of the things I want to draw your attention to is to ransomware and DDoS. All right, where in the 2024 report, ransomware was nothing, but Perplexity tells us that we've gone up significantly in these two types of attacks. Okay, but it's due to XYZ, why these type of attacks have happened. So I want to show you first and foremost, I would like to show you the IC3 report. Let me get that ready. All right, and let me show you that. So let me show you which these columns. All right, so here we have 2024, 2023, and 2022. Right, so we go from 24 to 22. All right, so as we go down, let me see your DDoS. Well, here's ransomware, right? So in 2024, the cost was $12,473,000. So $12 million. I'm just gonna say $12 million from the previous year, $59 million. So we went down drastically in 2024 in ransomware, that's interesting to me that that's the case, because in 2022, there's 2022, 2023, 2024. In 2022, we were at 34 million and we went up significantly to 59, but then we went down exponentially to 12. Well, according to Perplexity, we've gone up even more so in 2025. That's interesting to know. That's ransomware. You can see here phishing and spoofing. We've gone up significantly. All right. And then as we go further up, I want to see if there's a specific for DDoS. I don't see that DDoS attacks. I'm sure it's somewhere in this report. But business emails compromised supposedly went down a little bit to $2 billion. So again, put your attention to ransomware. All right, phishing and spoofing, these two in blue, all right, at where they're at now. All right, so this gives you an idea. This prepares you for what we're about to do. Let me bring this a little bit more so you can have a better look at it. We want to see that personal data breaches is at $1.4 billion. That's a lot. $1.4 billion, significantly more than the previous year, 2023, and tech support. But phishing, spoofing, ransomware, DDoS attacks. So I asked it a question. Why are countries around the world still being hacked? Why are we? All right, countries continue to face attacks due to the evolving cyber threats from who? Nation states and criminals outpacing defenses, persistent vulnerabilities like unpatched software, and resource constraint. And you see that's in pink, right? That's in pink. That's the only other color I have, okay? Resource constraints in government systems, geopolitical tensions, that's something to be, all right. Geopolitical. Where the world right now is in geopolitical tensions. The whole friggin' world is in geopolitical tensions. Drive state-sponsored attacks, while basic attack vectors like phishing remain effective despite investments. Well, you just told us that resource constraints in the government. So this is despite investments, and investments have gone up. Full cybersecurity remains elusive amid rapid technical changes. So just that paragraph alone gives you a whole bunch of information. So apparently these are nation states and these are criminals, right? Criminal syndicates. I would assume not just the guy who's doing, somebody in IT, somebody in the security world that knows about this, that knows how to do this, and they're outpacing the government because the government has constraints on their resources. How is that? Because, as you'll soon find out, the U.S. is the number one, according to Perplexity, the number one country that gets hacked. The U.S. Why? We have the most resources, especially in the government. Everything's at their disposal. They do whatever they need to do, whatever they want to do with the taxpayers' money. Okay? And whatever budgets that they create, I don't know how that's created. I don't know anything about taxes or budgeting or finances. I have no freaking idea. I know that the government takes in all our tax money, takes in all this freaking money, and then we don't have the resources in the government system to secure. We're the number one country being hacked. The number one. Now, it does say geopolitical tensions. There's geopolitical tensions all over the world. But IT professionals, hello? Are we not doing our job? Or our companies that we work for don't have the resources? The higher ups in our companies don't let us do our job? What's going on? What you learned in school, you're not applying that knowledge? You did not dig deeper into finding out exactly how this is done because some professor told you, and listen to the words that I'm saying very carefully. Some professor, not educator, some professor told you, well, we'll talk about that another time. And then you never do. Okay? So this is not something that's a joke anymore. All right? And there's been many videos out there on YouTube, on TikTok, on all social media that they go back and say, okay, what's going on? There's weird things going on, right? One of the things that's going on right now, and I find it interesting, the Y2K thing. Remember Y2K? Right? Everybody thought that because computers couldn't go above 1999, we were gonna die. That didn't happen. Okay. I love that cow cheese. You know that cheese that comes in a round thing? I think it's called Laughing Cow. My editor just told me. She told me. She's got her ear to the door. All right. Laughing Cow. Laughing Cow had a ring around her nose. I remember that. But no, that's not true. And then you had the Fruit of the Loom. It had that cornucopia, the friggin' horn-looking thing, where Fruit of the Loom was. No, that's not true either. And if you try to look for it, it's not there. So there's weird things going on. So security today, security for a long time, is very, very important. So we really need to look at all these things. But let's keep going. This gets so interesting. It's not even funny. And you know I have a Security Plus coming up. Look at that thing at the bottom. Security Bootcamp. That's the code. Security 30 off. 30% off. 72 hours only. It ends tomorrow. But we'll probably put after that something lower, like 20% off or 10% off or something like that. But take advantage of it now. Go to globed.net. All right, let's keep looking here. Key attack motivations. Why are they motivated to attack? Why are these people doing this? So nation-state actors, groups like China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. They made an acronym. How cliche in IT. CRINK. Oh, wow. Okay. CRINK target critical infrastructure, which is true, intellectual property. I don't know if it's China, Russia. I'm just going by what Perplexity is telling me, right? Target critical infrastructure, intellectual property, and political objectives. That political objectives through sophisticated campaigns, geopolitical conflicts. Now, they talk about that such those involving in Ukraine, Israel, and regional wars fuel disruptive attacks, including DDoS, wipers. I had no idea what wipers are, but I looked it up, and ransomware. All right. So criminal exploits, high value targets, financial gain. That's number one. Bottom line for everything is money. Phishing and credential. This is awareness. Okay. And credential theft involved 30 to 40%. Now, wipers. What the hell are wipers? I didn't know what wipers were. I had no idea. So I looked it up. All right. So wipers. What am I talking? Wipers. Wiper malware in cybersecurity refer to destructive attacks designed to permanently delete or overwrite data on targeted systems. Okay. How do they operate? Wipers infiltrate via phishing. Are we not training our people? Exploits. Are we not securing our stuff? Or the supply chain compromises, like during the COVID era, where ships were just hanging out in the water and our supply chain got compromised. We weren't getting our stuff fast enough. Then escalate privileges to target critical databases, backups, and system partitions. So wipers are a bad thing. They're very bad. Jesus. They just they delete everything. And if we're in a war, or what is it? We're in a war, or we're phishing, we're not doing our updates, we're not patching our systems, we're not doing nothing like that. So we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Okay, then it just makes it a lot easier for them to get through. So again, it could be, according to Perplexity, it could be Crank, those different countries, or a criminal syndicates. But in my description here in the hello cybersecurity professionals, I said trust no one. We don't have perimeter firewalls anymore. We have zero trust architecture. Zero trust means zero trust. You trust nobody on the inside, you trust nobody on the outside. And the majority of your exploits of you getting hacked is from the inside of your company, from espionage. But you're going to see it here. People inside your company, they know your network, they're in your network, they BS their way through, they got the right paperwork for you to call them in, they got the right verbiage to trick you, to answer your questions, right? They get trained for this. And then they're in your company, and then they're doing all sorts of things. All right? So trust no one. Trust no one. Okay? So let's go back here. Wrong screen, lads. Okay? And then it says common examples. Primarily deployed in cyber warfare, wipers sabotage infrastructure during conflicts. Let's highlight that. During conflicts. Man, it seems like we're in conflicts all over the world. All over the world, somebody has a conflict with somebody else. Dude, worry about yourself. Let's trade. Let's do this. Let's do that. But why we got to keep doing stuff like this? It makes no sense. As seen in multiple variants against the Ukraine amid the Ukraine. What? Multiple variants against Ukraine amid the Russia war. Oh, okay. So warring. If we are at war with other countries, that's now a thing. It's not just about bombing anybody or doing anything like that. No, we're going to go ahead and bring down your critical infrastructure to destroy you from the inside out. It's crazy. So this particular one, this is one for the Ukraine. This was actually Pathwiper is a data wiping malware that targeted the critical infrastructure in Ukraine in June 2025. Again, I did not know what Wiper was. I did not know. So when it looked up, then it said something about this. I'm like, oh, really? Let me look that up. And then it says that Cisco, hey, the Mercedes-Benz of Newark, Cisco tailouts identified during destructive cyber attack attributed to Russia-linked APT group. Okay, the malware overwrites files. Okay, so we know what Wiper does. So deploy Pathwiper across victims' endpoints via batch files VB scripts like UAC install.vbs, which drop these different payloads using SHA-256 sum.exe that mimic administrative actions, and they just got wiped out. Technical capabilities, erasing your master boot record, log files, and so forth. And for you Linux individuals, dismount volumes, or in Windows, if you're creating volume, but mounts and dismounts, that's Linux. Dismount volumes, and here's a path to that, and destroys files directly. This is a vicious friggin' attack, my God. Attributions and context, Cisco Taillots attributes the attack to Russia. Like, I don't know. I'm just telling you what Perplexity is telling me. Obviously, you want to go deeper than that, go to all these different security websites and find out. But if this thing still exists, apparently in 2026, there's no, after that 2025 attack, there hasn't been no more wiper attacks, what have you. But that exists. So if it exists, it can be put to use whenever they need to. And we're the number one, USA, we're the number one that gets attacked. We're the number one that gets attacked. So it's like, it's insane. So I asked Perplexity, said, listen, man, can you create a bar chart of countries that have been hacked? So, okay, the top 10, I said across the world, right? Create a bar chart of countries that get hacked the most. And the bar chart sort from the most hacked to the least hacked. So it gave me 10, the 10 most targeted countries, okay, in 2025, based on incident reports. Not everybody reports it, so it's based on whatever the IC3. So the threats, it's the USA, Ukraine, Israel, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, India, Germany, and Poland. So these rankings draw from sources like IBM X-Force, reflecting factors such as economic size. Oh, you're not even seeing that. Sorry, seeing my face. All right, here's USA, Ukraine, Israel, Japan, UK, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, India. Okay, but it's drawn from. So we're looking at the economic size, the geopolitical conflicts, digital infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to the cloud. We want to have everything digital. It's a good thing. It's a double-edged sword. We created the World Wide Web so we can reach more people. So companies, we work for ourselves. We can, like I do, we can go ahead and reach the world. We can make more money. We can learn about different things. That's why we have 3,000 channels on our internet TVs, because Curiosity Stream, all these different channels that we can research and look and see and learn. And wow, okay, I didn't know this, that, the other thing, right? So it gave opportunities, but no. We didn't use it for that. We said, aha, Laz is online. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go get his gym workouts, because I've hit a plateau. I need Laz's gym workouts, and I want a picture of Laz when he's flexing so I can get motivated. So I get that. I understand that. All right. But we're putting everything on the cloud. We're putting everything on the internet. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, what you put online stays online. Period. End of story. All right. You have no control once you upload that file. That's it. It's over. So if I put a picture of me picking my ear, see this right here? All right, once I upload this is this right here. It's going to go, oh man, Laz picks his ears. Ew. Okay, it's going to go there. It's going to go there, and it's going to be there forever. Okay, it's going to be there forever, because the servers could be in Russia. Servers could be in China. Servers could be somewhere in Europe, somewhere in Southeast Asia. Servers not necessarily have to be in the USA, because when you go to Security Plus, you where those servers are at and you're putting that information, you better follow the laws of that state, that country, that province, whatever it is. Yo, IP Master getting out CAA, CD designation by school. A CAE, what's that? Cyber Automation Education. I don't know what CAA, CD means. All right, designation by school. All right, cool. All right, if that's a good thing, I don't know what it is, but if it's great, good for you, brother. Good for you. All right, but what you studied for, you should implement, regardless of what the CEO says. When I was in the classroom environment, I didn't care what the executive said. You got to use this book. Okay. You need to teach from this book. Okay. No, I'm going to go ahead and I told my students, We're going to use this book, use it at home. Okay, whatever. But we're going to use this in the classroom. That's just how I am. Look how many people are employed by Utah Data Center. It's DHS NSA certifications. Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah, for sure. There's DoD certifications specifically. All right. They may look for like government agencies like that. They may look for certain certifications like common certifications, CCNA, Network Plus, Security Plus, things like that. But they want, if you're going to work for the Department of Defense, definitely they want Department of Defense certifications, and they have their level 1, level 2, whatever they're called. Definitely they're going to have that. Obviously. So, but this is crazy. This is crazy. All right. We really need to do our jobs as much as we can, as we're allowed to do. So if you can't do it at your job, do it at your home. Okay. And protect yourself. So, and putting things out there online, that's why I'm so against cloud. I mean, I may use cloud for certain things. Like I used to use Google Drive, not Google Drive. What was it? What was it? Where you Dropbox. Until somebody complained, man, it's not an alphabetical order. You got to alphabetize it. Really? I'm giving you stuff for free, and you're complaining that it's not alphabetized? Gone. So that's it. No more. All right. But the thing is, you're out there. We're on the internet right now. People are listening to what I'm saying. Right now, they're recording what I'm saying. Okay. So it's like, if it's online, it stays online. If you don't want to get hacked, don't go online. Bottom line. So you can't do that because then you can't work. All right, let's keep reading. Here's the chart. Let me show you the chart. Boom. USA. I know you can't see that. That's the color that ChatGPT says here, powered by Perplexity. USA, numero uno, 100%. Ukraine, 85%. Israel, 80. Japan, 70. I'm sure these numbers are just very generic. UK, 65. Saudi Arabia. Who came in last? Poland. They don't get that much, I guess. Germany, right? India, 50%, whatever. And India has the most, but see, India is not leading. France right now is leading in IPv6. India's close second, okay? But we are the number one, USA. We are the number one getting hacked. And we should have the most resources not to get hacked. And we should have the brilliant minds that, hey, we can deter, right? We can deter from this 100% bar chart, okay, not to get hacked. But that's not the case, is it? For some reason, well, we're loving IPv4. That's number one. We're just holding on to IPv4 like if it was our umbilical cord, all right? We're still docked, all right? We're still docked at the birth, okay? We're still docked, I'm talking maritime stuff, okay? We're still docked. We haven't given that certificate yet, all right? So we need to break that umbilical cord, okay? And get undocked and be free, okay? So we can do IPv6. IPv4, everybody's like, oh, IPv4. And that's why they created Lisp and all this crazy stuff. So, yeah, so that's the bar chart right there. All right, ranking, here it is. U.S., highest sheer volume. Sectors from financial gain to espionage. Oh, look at my ugly mug. Hold on. Sectors from financial gain to espionage. How about that? What about the Ukraine-Israel? Thousands of state-sponsored hacktivists. So people amid the conflict. So people internally in their organizations, okay, they went ahead, or maybe people that snuck in. There was a movie, I think, I don't know what it was called. I forgot what it was called. There was a great movie that showed somebody getting into somebody's data center. And I think it was, I don't know if it was Israel or Tehran or something like that they put in a USB so they can get into their friggin' or whatever. It's a movie or whatever. There wasn't that well secured, unless like it's a Mission Impossible thing. Hacktivists amid conflicts. And right now, Israel is in a lot of, whatever with the Gaza or whatever thing going on. I don't know. I don't follow that. Then you got Japan and Brazil. Regional leaders in APAC and LATAM due to digitalized economies. Go digital, go broke. I can't find another word. Go digital, go broke. Go ahead. All my money is digital. I don't need it. Here, hey, listen, here where I'm at, we can go ahead and use QR code to pay. But you think I'm going to put all my money in there? No, I put just enough money to go here and buy a couple things here and there. And that's it. The rest of it is cash, baby. Cash is king. And look what it says. And ransomware. Somebody put it in there. How do we, if you can, if you're here, okay, if you want, can you, or afterwards, whatever. How do you protect yourself against ransomware? What's the number one thing? What do you do? What does the NIST tell you to do? Because I'm going to go to the NIST real quick here. And CISA. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? It's backup. Backup. Listen, backup and awareness. Updates. Update your patches. Have antivirus. You don't got to go to college for that. You can be in the street corner. Hey, man, make sure you install some antivirus. All right, bro? Your friends. Antivirus. Yeah. Just don't worry about it. Just, when you purchase your computer, it comes with some antivirus like Symantec or something. Install it. All right. Install it. Make sure that when it says you have a Windows update, do it. Okay. And your antivirus, always make sure you have it updated. Okay, man. And don't go to websites you're not supposed to go to. Those friggin' websites you go to, bro. Don't go there. Okay. Because that could be a watering hole, like a water hole attack. So don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. And you can just make people aware. You help your grandma. All grandma's doing is playing bingo. Why is grandma being hacked? Now, that's why my wife, who's in charge of our business, she takes care of her mother's all medical records and everything. So her mom doesn't answer any of those calls. Those things are blocked. If they get around it because they have a million phone numbers, all right, she just hangs up on them, and then she takes care of it. Others like UK, Saudi Arabia, India, Germany, Poland are targeted because of infrastructure and supply chain. So their supply chain is not that good. Okay, their infrastructure, whatever. So, they get hacked that way. So let's break this down through the attacks. This is where I want you to pay attention to. So the USA, really, 59% is ransomware. I'm gonna highlight this. Ransomware is 59%. Then comes phishing, and then comes espionage. No. The NIST tells you just pack up your stuff. This is 2024, man. And it gets worse in 2025. It gets worse. Is it here? Is it here? Compare, because I did compare. I just went there, but I didn't go here. Let me see. Hold on. I got to show you this. I have to show you this. I didn't go further down. Here we go. Global cyber attacks volume grew from around this rough estimate. That's what the tilde means. 656 billion in 2024 to a projected 803 billion in 2025. What? That was way back over here. I didn't read that. With regions in the Asia Pacific, 31% incidence. All right, whatever. All right, data gaps persist as many incidents, whatever. But it grew a lot. Okay, so that's crazy. All right, but then I showed you the breakdown. Okay, so here again, where were we? USA ranking the highest. And then the breakdown by attacks. Okay, breakdown by attacks. So the USA, it's ransomware, phishing, and espionage. 2024. In 2025, ransomware leak persists plus 75% exploits. Come on, man. Come on. You don't have your antivirus. You don't have your Windows updates. You're not doing your backups. Seriously? Seriously? And then you got Keynotes, broad sector hit, whatever. And then the Ukraine, DDoS. You got the wipers. I showed you that. All right. I showed you what that was. And you got hacktivists, people in there. There are activists that are hackers. So they're hacktivists. All right. And they got total number of 2,052 of them. Nation state ongoing amid war. Like Russia's linked to that because I guess, the thing with Ukraine and Russia or whatever. Okay. But it's DDoS. DDoS. Okay. So Israel, nation state actors, DDoS, thousands. Middle East espionage, disruptions. Iran and Hezbollah. Well, they got issues with all that stuff going on over there. Then you got Poland, DDoS, 1,000 per week, bro. DDoS, seriously? NATO effects sharp uptick. Whoa, Kremlin accused. Okay. Brazil, ransomware, phishing, financial fraud. That's a common thing. And I'll show you again the IC3 report. Financial fraud has gone up. 53% LATAM, and then hospitals and utilities. In the U.S., hospitals and anything that has to do with the medical industry or industrial, they're being hacked left and right. Digital growth draws crime, and then India is phishing. Well, I mean, in India, unfortunately for them, we get a lot of what is it? What's the name of it? Tech support. You know, that grew. It kept growing. 806,000 in 2023. 124,000. I mean million. Sorry, 806 million in 2023. 124 million in 2024, and 1 billion, almost 500,000, and that's going to grow. That's where our tech support comes from, right? A lot of the times. So that's a breakdown. In Japan, ransomware in the supply chain. But again, we can fix this. So I said, well, okay, I got you. No problem. So it's ransomware and DDoS attacks that we need to go. So where do they tell us to go to? Okay, they tell us to go, hey, go to the NIST and the CISA. Their guidelines for their updated 2025 and 26 reports. So I did. Wherefore art thou? Where are you? Is it here? No. Oh, come on, man. Don't tell me I didn't do it. Yeah, there. No. What? Are you kidding me? All right. That's no biggie. I'm not going to. Let's go to CISA. All right. Let's go there. I guess I didn't bookmark it. Okay. So secure your business. Okay. And I'm going to put here, hopefully, if I still have it pasted. No, not continue to. Ransomware awareness and campaign fact sheets. I think I downloaded that actually. But okay, don't worry about it. Let's do this one. Let's search for it. That's the CISA right there. So reduce the risk of ransomware. What? Oh, campaign. Okay. Reduce. This is what year? Is a PDF. I have the PDF. Let me look at my downloads folder real quick. I know I downloaded this. I downloaded one. Did I close it? Let me see. Yeah, here it is. No, that's that. That's that. That's not what I wanted. All right, no worries. We'll just go back over here where we were. Did I close that too? I'm a genius. Here I am, right here. All right. So here we have. So what is ransomware? Why should you care? And here's what they see. CISA resources, official all updates, guidance, and services, including tips for the best practices. Okay. So let's go there. Oh, you're not seeing that? I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. I just clicked into their things. What should we do? CISA scanning and testing services to help organizations assess, identify, and reduce their exposure to threats, including ransomware, blah, blah, blah. Vulnerability scanning, web applications, cybersecurity evaluation tools, ransomware readiness. Ooh, they have an actual PDF they can download. They got a CISA tabletop exercises, which they talk about it in the Security Plus. What should you do? Let's look at that one. Let's look at this one. Man, I downloaded it. I don't know where the hell I downloaded. Oh, I know where I downloaded it. Hold on. Sorry. I know I downloaded it. Because I moved it from there to the Security Plus folder for the boot camp that I'm doing. I see the report. Here, quick start guide to ransomware. This is from the CISA. So identify, protect, detect. What is this? Oh, you're not seeing it either. It's a PDF on my computer. Identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. All right. And then let me take it back a little bit. I got carried away there. All right. Maintain hardware and software inventories. Document information flows. Identify external information systems which your enterprise connects with. identify a critical enterprise process, and you can read this on your own. You can go to CISA and download this PDF. All right, establish cybersecurity policies that spell out roles and responsibilities. I'm not saying anything they need a PhD for. Manage access to asset information. Duh. Protect your devices securely. Nah, let's do it unsecurely. Okay. Consider. Look at this. I'm here. Consider. Oh, okay, cool. Consider installing host-based firewalls and other protections such as endpoint security products. Apply uniform configurations to devices and control changes to device configurations. Really? Okay, I guess we're not doing that, huh? Here, manage access to asset information. Start by creating unique accounts to each employee and ensure that users have access only to the information, computers, and applications needed for their jobs. Isn't that least privilege that's taught in the Security Plus? So this is their thing. This is our how we're going to do things. Train your staff. Know the expected. So they're not telling us nothing that we don't know. There's no PhD material here that we don't know about. Okay, so that's crazy. That's the CISA. Okay, I'm sorry. That wasn't the NIST. That's the, who is this? Yeah. I think this was the NIST. Getting started. So yeah. This is the NIST. But the CISA is pretty much the same thing. Okay. It's help organizations evaluate their cybersecurity posture, respect to ransomware against recognized standards, and then they'll give you, see, what is this? There's a GitHub where you can download stuff. Please share thoughts, whatever. But they have the same type of guidelines. They're not giving you nothing special. Okay? They're not giving you anything special. They're telling you to back up your stuff, because those were the two main things. Ransomware and DDoS. But all these things are done due to phishing attacks, social engineering. Okay? That it's espionage, and you have people internally in your company. That's true. I believe that 100%. You have people in your company, because there was a shift. There was first a shift. There's several shifts that's been going on since 2000. Okay? But in 2020, there's a huge shift. And the people that are now doing our cybersecurity, they don't know. I think from what I'm seeing, we're the number one right now being hacked. All right, number one. That tells me something. Either it's espionage, definitely hiring the wrong people. They say they got the right credentials. How they got them, we don't know. Okay. Can we see the pockets in the fiber cable? Variant can put PDU back together, whether UDP traffic or TCP. How is it done last? They aren't using AI either to reconstruct these packets. Really? Wow. Okay. Wazoo. What's Wazoo? Is that something I should be looking into? Wazoo. I'm gonna write it down. I'll remember that. Wazoo. I wouldn't know how to show you that, the air pockets. Okay. But I'm gonna look into it now. But right now, my wife is watching a video, because she keeps up to date with this. She just became IT when I started teaching. It took about a couple of years, but she got into it, and she's now looking at using AI in 2026 for configurations, not just for asking questions, but for configurations of certain things. And people are using AI. All right, and with the onslaught of what's it called? Cyber. I forgot. Jesus Christ. These massive freaking computers that are out there right now, that it's crazy. We don't have the population of India or China. So they got the two biggest countries have that population that they're being trained, okay, to do all this stuff, to deliberately go in there. And it's not like, the dark room, the green letters, the hoodie, and all that. That's just a symbol. Okay. There's people that are being taught, okay, this is the tools you use. This is how you create these scripts in order to, that was a VBS script that I showed you. Okay. A VB script. Really? You can do VB scripts in friggin' all these documents in Office. Okay. But if they're using, whatever language, programming language that they're using and using these tools they already have, or going on the dark web and downloading friggin' scripts that may cost you millions, or it may cost you a couple hundred, it may cost you a couple thousands or tens of thousands. Okay. And you download it and you tweak it to meet your needs. You don't need to do things from scratch. You can just go to the dark web and download that stuff. All right. It's there for the not for the taking, but you got to pay for it. All right. But you better know what you're doing when you're going up there, because once you put your credit card number in, they got you. All right. So these are the things that we need to be looking at. All right. It's just crazy. I don't know why this is going on. But again, the shift. So especially since 2020, specifically since 2020, we really need to step up our game in security. Security Plus is a very basic foundation. But everything I've mentioned here, all these things that Perplexity has talked about, the CISA and the NIST and all that stuff, it's the basics. It's the basics, the very, very foundation. Are they attacking the core routers? Yes. And it was said in one thing that I looked in, that the core routers are the most vulnerable, or a student said it, or somebody that came on here and said it, that the core routers are vulnerable because nobody's looking at it. And that's one of the things I put in the description for this video, is like, monitor constantly that people are not doing. You're not monitoring when you're supposed to be monitoring. You're not putting things in place. You're not updating your digital signatures on your firewalls. Okay. You're just not doing it. You're not paying attention to the guidelines that are put out by the CISA and the NIST and the OSINT and all these people that tell you, hey, this is what's happening. These are the latest APTs, advanced persistent threats. You're not following all this stuff. You need to go ahead and do it. Now, but you have to be somewhat very, 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 very inquisitive. Okay. And say, okay, like somebody earlier mentioned, right? You mentioned the DHS and all the stuff that's in there. Okay. NSA in the Utah data center and all that. So we know that we're being listened to. We know about 12i, 20i, 1000i, all the stuff that all these countries are just spying on each other's citizens, and everybody's just sharing that information. Whatever. Hopefully my workout can help everybody out across the world. I want everybody to be healthy, to be strong. Okay. So I find that a good thing. All right. But point is, we don't want our government being hacked. We don't want certain companies, pharmaceutical companies, to get hacked, right? Imagine change formulas to certain medications. That would be crazy. Nuclear power plants, water treatment plants. That's, the power grid. All these things, we need to make sure that people that work in this industry, that they're doing cybersecurity, they need to be on point with the latest and greatest. I don't want to hear that you don't have the really the resources. Here I'm paying resource constraint in government systems. Resource constraint, that's in the pink. That's what it says. That a company that deals with nuclear power plants, hospitals, water treatment plants, the power grid, all this stuff, that you have resource constraints because of what? Money? You better get whatever you need to do to get that money. But you have all these other programs that exist throughout the states that they're not even doing, okay? And they're getting millions, if not billions of dollars. You better get the money to buy the right equipment to do what you need to do. That's bottom line. The United States of America has the brain power, the individuals. I just see it with the students that I've had in the past, and I'm having here now in the future. And people that make comments. They are intelligent individuals. They are knowledgeable individuals. Two different things. Don't get it twisted. Two different things. Intelligence and knowledge. But they have both. But either they're being suppressed. No. You can't do that right now. We have resource constraints. So I'm just going to put you over here. Just hang out over here for a while and do some VLANs. Okay. All right. So worry about that. Okay. So, and then, you want your job, you got to pay your bills. So, and that's what goes on. So certain companies are deliberately leaving themselves wide open. But and I'm talking about companies, not like friggin', not the, I always make fun of, I have the formula for shampoo that generates, hair. You'll be looking like a hippie from the freaking 60s with hair down to your feet. No, not, but that's not the kind of companies I'm talking about. I'm talking about major infrastructure companies that can really do damage. Imagine bringing down a hospital. Okay, people with heart problems, cancer, oh my God, all these major medical issues that are life threatening, and you shut these people down. That's a problem. In the middle of an operation, open heart surgery, you got this person on the table, the generators don't work, nothing works. You're just in total darkness. Everybody's with their cell phone, their flashlights, trying to pinpoint, see what you're going on. So, no, I mean, no, no, no. So, I mean, I am, like I said, let me go open up a new window here. Hold on. Let me open up a new window here. Hold on. Oh, wow. Don't type this ever. Don't type GL in the search. Something comes up that's not very good. All right. I mean, now I can put it here. Wow, that was crazy. I'm telling you, be careful what acronyms you type. Okay, be careful what acronyms you type. We have the Security Plus coming up. You've been getting this. You've been getting this ticker at the bottom, right? Security, the number 30, and the word off, OFF, all together, one word, security 30 off. Still good to tomorrow. And then more than likely, if you don't get this one, you'll get one with a lesser number, let's say 20 or 10 or 15, I don't know, lesser than 30. Okay, that means 30% off. You can get it for 30% off. But you need to take this serious. I make fun of it like chapter 5 and 6, secure coding, but you need to take this really serious. Because what I saw right now, that USA is 100%, we're at number 1 being hacked. That, no. I can see, let's say, number 3, we're in the top 10, but being number 1, no. Unacceptable. Unacceptable when we have the right people, okay, to do the job. So whoever you decided to hire, okay, and hey, this weekend starts my CCNA Weekend Warriors, or my Cisco Weekend Warriors, from Network Plus to CCNP Encore. So take a look at that. Go to subscribe to Google Bet and go look at that, okay? But seriously, let me go back over here. I always forget what window I'm in. That's it. I mean, it's over. I mean, we've gotten to a point where things have just gone off the rails. I mean, it's not even a little bit. We've gone off the rails big time. Being number 1 hacked, hiring the wrong people, man. You're hiring the wrong people. You got to hire people based on what they know, not what they look like. You know what I'm saying? They have to have the intelligence to continue gaining more knowledge to move forward. And I've seen some of my students' resumes. Holy moly, these people are knowledgeable. The person that's on here right now that left all these comments right now is extremely knowledgeable. Hello. And not only have individuals gain the knowledge, they have the intelligence to continue to gain knowledge. It doesn't mean you need to go to college to gain the knowledge. You have all sorts of AIs that you can do your research. I don't know, even libraries still exist. I see bookstores here where I'm at. Wherever I've traveled in Southeast Asia, I've seen many bookstores. I haven't seen IT books, but I've been to bookstores, okay? And these kids over here in Southeast Asia, they go to school morning and evening. Just so you know, in every Southeast Asian country that I've been in, and even in Malaysia, well, as far as Southeast Asia, okay, they've gone into they got schools in malls. All right, they got schools in malls where they go to after their normal school. Okay, so that's just the way it is. They're not playing around. I did a report back in high school of Russia, their education system. Let's go to school. I think if I remember correctly, Monday through Saturday. Don't quote me on that, but Monday through Saturday, it's like all freaking day, man, and not 8 hours a day. No. It's like 17-hour days or something like that. These people aren't playing around. You better graduate in the top 1%. Okay, because if not, you're gonna be picking up trash in the street. That's it. All right. So they want the brightest minds. The brightest minds. Do you want the person who graduated last in their doctor, brain surgeon, whatever? You want that person that graduated last, okay, in the class to do your open heart surgery? No. Okay. I don't listen to doctors at all. All right. Because doctors, at least I haven't had the experience here in Southeast Asia. My only experience is in the US as far as my physical, right? Is that doctors in the US, regular MDs, don't know squat about athletes. Don't know anything about athletes. I don't follow none of their directions. Lucky for me that when I destroyed my right knee, I had a surgeon who actually worked with the Dolphins. Okay. He knew how to work, man. I'll put your knee back together again. And I'm leg pressing right now, close to 1,000 pounds due to the lack of plates, whatever. But I think the last thing I leg pressed 6 times, was it 6 or 8? It was 993 pounds. And that's, with my knee that he put back together. But he was a sports doctor. But, you got doctors in the US that told me, they took an x-ray and oh, you have a cyst. You need to go look at the person who operated you. Okay. So, I was in and out of that hospital. It was Baptist Hospital, in and out in 5 minutes. I swear to God, 10 minutes, 15 tops. Okay. And I went to my surgeon. I showed him my x-ray. Yeah, it says it's got a cyst. He goes, cysts don't come up in x-rays. I don't know that. I'm not a doctor, but they just wanted to get rid of me. So no, you want to hire people that are not just based on money. I mean, obviously we need money, all right, to survive, all right, but to at least, pay our bills and buy food, okay? But you got people that really don't know what the hell they're doing. They just don't know. I'll give you another example and this goes right into IT, because you go into IT, they talk about we don't have the resources in IT to do what we got to do. All right. Here I went to a dentist's office. I had a molar, which was really bad. I was like, oh man. And they go, we got to do a root canal. They said, just pull it, bro. Ethically, we can't do that. I go, it's my tooth. I'm telling you to pull it. We can't do that. So I got up and left. Why? Because they wanted the money. I went to a person who actually said, you want to pull it? Yep, pull it out. And he did. Okay, and that's just the way it is. I'm in charge, right? Bodily autonomy. I'm in charge of my body. Pull my freaking tooth. All right, but it's all based on money. And that's the thing with IT security or IT in general. Everything is based on money. Okay, it's crazy. And now with the geopolitical thing that they talked about in Perplexity, is because we're going through all these issues with all these different countries. That brings in the hacking even more so, because we're not paying attention to what we need to be paying attention. Okay, so that said, at least you get a Security Plus, and I shouldn't even say it that way because that's a very good certification. I love that book. Okay, except for chapter 5 and 6. All right, I love that book. It talks about a lot of realistic scenarios. Okay, that happens. And that's a foundation for security. And then once you do that, go to stationx.net. They're here on TikTok. Oh, not on TikTok. They're here. I get confused. I think they're on YouTube, but they're on TikTok. They have their own website, stationx.net. Go look for these. These guys have their own companies, security companies. Okay, they have their own freaking TV show. One instructor does on security. Okay, these people know what the hell they're doing. There's over 700 to 1,000 different security certifications that are out there. So you need to get the right people to teach you that. Okay, get the right people. Me, I'll teach you Security Plus, no problem. Okay, but everything else, you want ethical hacking, you want penetration testing, you want all these different high-level CISSP, all that stuff. And I mean, when you go to the red team and all that stuff, yeah, those are those guys, stationx.net. They're the only ones. They're the only ones. I'm sorry. It's the truth. They're the only ones that will teach it because they do it on a daily basis. All right? They do it on a daily basis. But I'll leave you with that. Remember, look at the coupon code. Security 30 off for the Security Plus. All right, take advantage of it starting not this weekend, but the following weekend. And I hope to see all you guys on my, the students are already enrolled in the class. I'll see you this weekend, okay, 7 to 10 Eastern time. And for those of you still go, you got your payment plans in there that you can go ahead and do. And we're going to be going from the Network Plus to the CCNP and RCU. It's going to be a hell of a ride. You guys take care, be safe, and trust no one.